All right, what's up, Dragon Brood? We're going to tackle another 5-minute deck tech for Eldraine Standard. This time, we're going to be looking at the celebration mechanic, and be patient with me here because it starts out looking like mono red, but I promise you there's new cards in here. All right, so getting into it, we do have 4 Commando Faces Kakazan. Not a lot to say about this. If you played against mono red any amount of time during the last couple of standard seasons, you kind of know all about this card. We're also going to be playing Phoenix Chick because, well, it's fast, it's efficient, it flies. Not much more to say about that. We are going to be playing some Play with Fire because we do want some removal. We're playing red, so obviously all of our removal is going to be damage spells, not a surprise there. And we're going to be playing Voldaren Epicure. Now, the reason Voldaren Epicure is actually good here is because it makes 2 permanents. And the thing with Celebration is you need 2 non-land permanents to come in the battlefield to trigger that mechanic. Also, we kind of get that benefit from Commando Faces Kakazan because this card can actually produce the creature and counts as one thing, and then when you play your other spell, that counts as a thing. So we're checking a couple of boxes here with these cards. Also, randomly, later in the game, this could be an additional thing if you get to play it out of the graveyard. Not likely, but possible. Okay, getting into the other stuff, we are going to play Charming Scoundrel, I should say. And honestly, this card's pretty good, and you have to pay attention to this because it's likely to start showing up in a lot of different lists. Partly because it produces treasure, so it's almost like a ramp spell. In this case, where we're talking about Celebration, it produces a second permanent when it comes into play. Also, the Wicked roll could be an additional permanent, which could be another damage also. Or you can just discard and draw. So if you have decks that care about putting cards in the graveyard, there's a chance you're going to see this card there too. I'll probably even have it in some other lists myself. We're going to follow it up with Lightning Strike because, well, we need more damage and more finishers, more removal, so we're going to use that. Now, the first Celebration card we come to is Raging Battle Mouse. This is a 2-mana 2/1, and the second spell you play each turn costs 1 less, so that's kind of nice. It just basically lets you get a discount for playing multiple things, and then when your second thing comes in the battlefield, well, it says 2 or more. And you end up getting to make this a +1/+1. Actually, target creature is +1/+1 until end of turn. So that's actually really good to just help you force something through if you need to, or put it on a flyer like a Phoenix Chick or something that your opponent can't block. Then moving into the other new cards, we are going to be playing Godric, Cloaked Reveler. I like this a lot. It's 3-mana 3/3 with haste, so that's a bonus. If you're able to get a second thing into play, again, any of these other cards that are putting multiple things in alongside it, that gives you the ability to turn this into a dragon, and then it has fire breathing for all your dragons, which is super cool. Pay a red, your dragons get +1/+0. And it's all dragons. Now, this would be your only dragon, however, we do have another one we're going to talk about in a second. This is actually really cool because you could play 3 mana and attack, and let's say it's the turn where Commando Faces Kakazan is coming in as a creature, well, now you get to attack with a cool 4/4. So that's actually pretty sweet. Then moving on, we are able to play Squee, got Dubious Monarch, and this is cool because it makes another token, right? So now we have another thing that puts 2 things into play. And we all kind of know how Squee works. If it goes to the graveyard, there's a chance we could play it again later. So this is just like Mono Red Aggro fast, but gets to use the mechanic of some new stuff. But I did mention and promise you a dragon, and we do have Decadent Dragon in this deck. Now, you look at this and say, well, we can't really play the black side on the adventure. Not totally true. This card itself produces treasure, and the Scoundrel produces treasure. So there's a chance either of these cards could give us treasure to be able to use that if we feel we need to in a pinch, which could be pretty good. But if not, we at least just have a big 4/4 flying dragon, and that's actually pretty sweet. And again, this dragon, whenever it attacks, produces treasure, so you could also trigger your other things. This means that you could attack with this and attack with Godric, then the treasure comes into play. If you've already played anything else for the turn, then now you have 2 dragons, and you can use that treasure to give both dragons +1/+0. So really cool interactions here in this deck. So it kind of plays like Mono Red, but with a kind of a more interesting top end to finish with, which I kind of like. It's coming at it from a different angle, not just doing the same thing the deck was doing before. Other than that, we're not doing anything special with lands or anything. These are just really about spells on this one. You can kind of take your pick on what you want to do there. But yeah, we got this done under 5 minutes. Be sure to check out the other 5-minute deck techs if you want to be ready for Eldraine Standard when the set goes live.